sir, be built because she too should be. You see that idea of I am building with him.
Meet Joy Etor.
I started cooking at the tender age of 9.
A self-taught Nigerian chef whose journey into the kitchen began as an act of self-love.
I grew up trying to impress my dad that I was good enough.
Now a proud mother of 3 girls, Joy is building a vibrant brand in the food industry while instilling confidence and strength in her daughters.
There's no award in heaven for superpass.
That's true.
I'm a strong woman. I'm a strong woman is the anthem of a woman that is digging her own grave.
This heartfelt conversation serves up a rich blend of joy, resilience, and passion for food.
I'm the first child. I'm first daughter, and my dad is an only son.
Okay.
Whose father had 3 brothers. So it's more like, and then if you're the first son, you do the burial of your father, you own all the properties.
Yeah.
And then you die, your son gets all the properties.
Yeah.
So your son has his uncles looking at him like, something should happen to you so we can get our father's properties back.
I know. I just
and then he has a first child and is a girl. Why are you a girl? So all hell is literally let loose on you. I grew up trying to impress my dad that I was good enough to be his child, irrespective of my gender. So that sort of shaped me without me realizing it. Because I had to always be at my best. Believing that will win my dad. That would make him see I'm worth it. But it was never enough. It was never enough.
When did you realize that shaped you? Because when you're young, you won't know.
No, you actually won't know. I think I realized it like when life really hit me after Trinity, and I was dealing with so much. I realized that a lot of the things that I had been through growing up really prepared me for the future. And there's something I tell people, because at some point I wanted to change my name from Joy.
Okay.
Because I was like, what's the meaning of joy?
Joy, yeah.
A state of mind. Joy doesn't mean happiness. It's a state of mind. And I realized I've literally always had to be in that mindset of I'm okay regardless of what's going on with me. So I was like, no, I don't want to bear that name anymore. I'm done. I want a different name. Maybe I'll switch to my native name or just pick any random name and just be happy. But then there comes a time when you just have to accept things for what they are. And when my dad, I think the turning point was when my dad sent us away when I was 17.
Is this way? Just pause first. Let's digest that, because even for the audience or global audience listening, some people can't even relate. They don't understand what this means to a girl child, right? Yes, it happens to young men too, teenagers, but to the girl child, because I was born in Edo State and spent a good time of my life there. Actually, maybe I would not have even left Edo State if my dad didn't drive me out of the house.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why I said pause there. Lagos was my safe haven. Yeah, Lagos was the big New York. You come to Lagos. And with 16, my dad drove me out of the house. That time you didn't have smartphones or anything. Me and my friend, we just boarded a bus to Lagos without any destination. So sometimes I'm wondering, this can't be our story. It can't be our story, and we can't let it repeat the next generation. Because what do the parents? We're gonna come because you're a content creator, you're a food blogger, you have a thriving business, you're really building your brand. We're gonna come there, but since we just started with this, what do you think happens to a young girl in her teenage age when the parents say, "Leave my house"?
A lot. First, you realize that yes, you had parents, but they're pretty much just caretakers. At least where we come from. When the people or the person in my situation who is supposed to ensure that you've got basic needs like a roof over your head.
Yes.
I mean, we're not even talking about living with a silver spoon now. Just
give me a place to sleep.
Something that you know is your home, and that gets taken away from you in the most violent way. And you're like, left to do whatever. You're left at the mercy of anything.
Yeah.
A lot can go wrong. A lot goes wrong. A lot happens to you. You are vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a complete mess that is better imagined than experienced. Because the basic shelter, we live in a country where even the government doesn't provide shelter.
Yes.
So where are you going to go?
That's true.
And then wherever you get to go, you're going to bend to whatever they want you to bend to, just so you can keep that roof over your head.
And then sometimes I wonder the people around, because now I'm just remembering vividly the day I came back from school and my dad was throwing my things down and was like, leave my house, I'm going to have better children and all this. What about his auntie, his people around him? They couldn't do anything. And we keep saying every time, like, the African culture, there's community. Yeah.
I think we have lost the sense of community a long time ago. A long time ago. And for someone who literally has grown up without a support system whatsoever, I can tell you, the people you are going to call your community are strangers.
That's true.
Random people that are not even supposed to be in your business.
Yes.
They are the ones that are going to be your community. In my case, my mom had just myself and my sister. So it was like, she never had a son. She's not a wife. If you don't have a male child, you don't have the home.
Why?
You don't have
what
a husband.
What is it about
a male child? You have to produce an heir to be...
Is it not just the name? Because what happens? It's just the name they will carry afterwards.
To them, they don't see it as just a name.
Okay.
It's more than that for them.
Defining their manhood.
You know, they want to be able to speak. I feel like for them, when they have a son, it boosts their ego. It makes them feel like, I'm a man.
But do you think it's changing now?
I would say a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Because a lot of the men now that are getting married will tell you, I want a girl as my first child. But deep down, if you really ask them, they still want a son.
Yeah.
And us girls that came out from all of that, there's something about us wanting to produce a male child. And we don't realize that it's coming from everything that we suffered.
Yeah.
Our mothers didn't have male children. We didn't have brothers. We didn't have a father who was our friend.
Yeah.
And as such, we want a son that will fill that void, because there's a male void in there.
I feel sorry for the son then, because he's going to have to, he's going to become everything.
He's going to become everything. And that is a very tough way to grow up, you know, when you're not even born and there's already so much
expectations
on you. So I would really wish that they know better, because the most important thing is you even have a child. That's if you're open to having children. Because again, it's not for everybody. Let's be honest. It's not.
Nobody tells you what motherhood is.
It's not for everybody. Having kids is not for anybody. It's not for everybody. So if you're open to having children, define the number of children as well. Not just random. 1, 2, if it's a boy, if it's a girl. I believe if you raise them right, that's all you need to carry on your name, your legacy, and everything else about you. Chimamanda today, I don't know her brothers.
Yeah.
But we know her.
Yes, that's true.
We don't know her brothers, right? So it's not really about I have a male child or I have a female child. We need to look away from all of that and just look into how are we raising the next adults.
Yes, so that they can show up to their full potential.
That's all that really matters.
And then if we leave as parents, actually, because sometimes I feel like there's something, I don't know, it's something we've missed in the sense of, because I have 2 kids and I tend to watch and a bit compare with my upbringing, like, and more as they get older, I tend to see that it is actually my responsibility to now live my fullest life.
True.
So that I do not become a burden to my children. But that I try to even explain that to some elders in Edo State. I think they thought I was talking trash. But like adults should try to live their fullest life. So you're not supposed to be a burden expecting from your child, because you don't give them the space to now breathe and live their own lives.
Thank you. When you asked what happens when we are thrown out of our father's house, we grow up too fast.
Very fast, that's true.
I was sent out at 17, but I was literally acting like a 26-year-old.
Yeah.
I took up the responsibility for my mother and my younger sister, and I became a breadwinner at 17.
Yes.
So I was 17, but if you talk to me, I sound like I'm 28. What that did, it stole my childhood.
Yeah.
It stole my growing up. It stole my life.
Yes.
So now I'm in my 30s, but I'm stuck in my 20s because I feel like I didn't live my life.
Yes, I feel you.
Right? So I've got 3 kids. And like you said, through parenting, I've realized I owe it to myself to live my life. And I tell mothers, a happy mother would be happy children.
Yes.
Our mothers gave unto us the depression they were having from our fathers. All the pain and heartache they were going through in their marriages, they were projecting it on us. They didn't have a life. You wait at home, he goes to work, he comes back, you take care of the children. They did not have a life. They had an idea of what their life would be before they got married.
Yeah.
All of that changed, right? And now they're focused on you. So they're going to make you their life. And that's why you're getting married and they are planning your wedding.
Yes.
Because they didn't even have a chance to plan theirs.
Yes.
Right? And what does that do? It will make your child resent you. It will steal away from your child's life. And you don't necessarily want that.
That's true.
You want them to live their life to the fullest. You owe yourself to live your life to the fullest, regardless of what anybody thinks.
We're going to continue from that point, because it's so important, especially for young women today, 20s, even late teenagers.
Yeah.
They need to see, or they even want to see, women from the African continent explore these kind of topics. True. Because sometimes they can't relate to what's happening in the US or in the West or in Europe, how life is there. I see it's so different. So when you hear someone sharing their experience, you're like, this will not work for me for Nigeria. It's not going to work for me in Nigeria. You know? So thank you so much. This is so important. Now, you love food. That's how I will put it.
I do.
You love food. You love, I will say, curating food, because it's like more than just cooking. You like to experiment, style and everything.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Do you think, was that in your childhood already?
Okay, as a typical first child and being female, the kitchen is your office.
Hey.
So, daddy eats pounded yam every evening.
Yeah.
The soup is not repeated.
And it must be pounded.
It is pounded.
That's what I even tell my daughter. It's
You know, your waist is not bending. Your mom is spanking you. This your stiff waist is what you carry to your husband. You better pound it.
But do you know what I did here? In Europe, I have real mortar and pestle. Listen, hey, if they hear this one now, what I will say, I told my son and his father that in my culture, it is only men that pound.
Exactly.
And they believe it.
That's good.
Till today.
That's very good. Go and pound.
Go and pound.
So,
so you were pounding.
I was in the kitchen all the time. And my mom was sick on and off.
Yeah.
Which meant that she wasn't always available.
Okay.
And as such, I started cooking at the tender age of 9. Which meant I would cook soup, I would cook stew, I would pound. And you're doing all of this, you're nervous. Because you can't just present rubbish before
your dad, the
before
good. Yeah.
You can't do that. And I have my little sister as well. So with all of that, I realized that I was beginning to enjoy this responsibility.
Okay.
So I was always looking forward to what I was going to cook, how I was going to cook it. And when you're washing the fish, you just cut some and put in your mouth. And, you know, you are mini mommy and all of that. I started to enjoy that. And by 11, I baked my first cake because we had students who were in the university that rented houses around us. So I used to pick up on what they were doing. Like, what's that one doing? Hey, auntie, let me assist you. Oh yeah, Joy, help me pour this one. Help me pour that one. I'm like, that's how they make cake. I made my first cake. The sand oven thing.
Yes.
And you couldn't tell me nothing. As soon as I made that cake, I'm like, I am made. I can do anything. I can literally do anything. So from then on, I explored with baking. I explored with cooking.
Okay.
We always had yam, plantain, and all of this fresh produce at home. So I would always be like, what are we cooking?
Yeah.
Rice, beans, whatever. I started to enjoy that feeling of presenting food before someone and seeing them finish the plate. That must have been good.
Yeah.
So from then on, it just became something that I enjoyed. Even when it wasn't time to cook, I'm in the kitchen. I would literally just save up money, cook, dish for everybody, and then realize that there's nothing left in the pot for me. But I'm happy. Yeah. Because everybody's like, Joy, this is very nice. I'm like, okay.
So somehow you get your validation.
Yes.
From that.
Yeah, and then the whole, can you cook this again? Yeah, I would love to cook it again. That made me happy. And that was like my coping mechanism from everything else that I was going through in the house. That was one thing that I wasn't being criticized over.
Yes.
I was the typical Orobo child. So people would make certain statements about your body. My dad would say a lot of things about my body, my mom, my aunts. But nobody ever said anything bad about my cooking.
And what you just mentioned is so important because I've seen that there is a way of talking to children that is like accepted. It's like even though you are like joking about their body or their way of working or something,
it's almost like it's accepted.
Yes, it seems like it's accepted because then even the children sometimes they laugh about it and everything. But I keep wondering if psychologically doesn't it affect them? Their being or how they see themselves.
It does. I had self-esteem issues for the longest time. I think I was already 30 before I started to be like, I could wear whatever it is I wanted to wear. Because of things that were said about me. Things that were said about my body. I was literally sexualized because of the body that I had. And I didn't even realize I had that kind of body. And then I was one of those girls who typically started puberty really early.
Yeah.
So you had boobs when your mates didn't have.
Yes.
You started your periods when they haven't started. So everybody just said something about you. So much that you wanted to wear big t-shirts. You didn't, you just wanted to hide. You want to hide whatever they have a problem with. Right? I don't know how to dance now, but I love music. And as soon as a good music is playing right now, you see me moving to it. I don't think I don't know how to dance. I lost the confidence to stand up and dance because I was in my dad's sitting room. I was 15 at the time. I was dancing to Kevin Little's Tom Young. And I was having fun. I was enjoying myself. And my mom's friend made a statement right outside. Instantly, something died in me. She just criticized. She said I was dancing a certain way and my body was moving a certain way. So I'm like, which means I don't have coordination of my body, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no need to dance.
We have to be so cautious.
So now, more than 19 years after that, or even 20 something years after that, I can't dance. Because that little child that was dancing and you said something and it stopped her doesn't know how to come out of that. So with my girls, I don't compare. Your sister is like this, why are you not like this? They are different human beings. I also tell them certain words not to use. You don't call someone fat. Mommy, this fat child in my class. No, don't use that. This skinny child in my class. I say, God even loved you people so much that you have a special needs sister in the house. So what can you say about somebody else? You have your sister at home. it shapes us psychologically without us realizing it.
Yes, that's true.
So if we understand the power of words as seeds, we should sow the right seeds in the children.
Yeah, especially coming from elders or guardians or people that young people or children look up to. Yeah, because that really shapes them. And for people watching and listening that probably have not met you before, they don't know what you do, what we are already talking about or going to talk about today, what message do you want to give to them?
You can be anything you literally want to be in life, no matter the circumstance. If you can dream it, if you can see yourself being that, you can actually bring it to life. And every pain has an expiration date. Whatever pain, whatever suffering, whatever shame, whatever life has thrown at you, there's a day it's going to end. So what are you going to do when it ends? Right? What are you doing now? Or are you just like letting yourself be like, because of my situation, it's going to end. It's going to pass one day. What's going to become of you?
Yes.
Right? It's really important that we see ourselves beyond our circumstances and our situations. If we can always do that, whatever situation we see ourselves in, we're going to look at it as, oh, this is a stepping stone from where I'm going. Because now, when I talk about, oh, my dad sent me away when I was 17, I'm like, I'm grateful that he did that. But back then, I wasn't. It wasn't something to be grateful for. It was something to be mad about.
Yes. I sometimes I feel like, okay, yes, I think the experiences that I gathered, having to stand on my feet and cater for my siblings and, you know, at that very tender young age, also gave me resilience and, you know. But on the other side, I always then wonder, I don't want to hear the story again, right? We must not go through. There are different kinds.
Before you become something.
Must it be? That should not be our story.
It shouldn't.
So, but somehow I think the human condition, the human mind needs pain to go to pleasure.
True.
And so coming back to your food. You know, there are so many different sayings around food. Like food is I think they say it's the way to somebody's heart to see it, you know, or let food be your medicine.
True.
Yeah, and so you can actually eat for the pleasure, enjoyment. You could also you can overeat and become addicted, you know. But on the other side, you can really have food to stay healthy. Use it as a mechanism to nourish yourself, and so where do you tend to lean towards?
I would say a mix of everything. Life is all about balance, but I'm very careful as to not being on the side where food is controlling. Because with everything literally has the power to control you.
Yes, that's true.
But if you choose to have the power over whatever food, whatever, you have the upper hand, right? And I enjoy food, and I believe everyone enjoys food. The problem is where food has power over you so much that you now rely on it to go through your day-to-day activities, or just to feel like yourself. Now, food is a universal love language. To a man's heart, to anybody's heart, awesome. I would gladly cook to anybody's heart. So, food as medicine, life taught me that differently.
Okay.
And growing up in Edo State, you would know that there are certain meals that we cook. Not because it is tasty. But because of what it's going to do to your body. You know, before Christmas, there is black soup that is made so that your body will be cleansed for all the sweet things you're going to eat.
Yes, that's true.
On Christmas morning, there's a herb daddy will go to the back and bring, and you chew it so that whatever you eat,
even bitter leaf, the water.
I'm telling you, bitter cola and all of these things. So growing up like that, I knew that there was more to food than just consuming it. Now, having a special needs child pushed that even more. Because they can't eat everything and anything. You have to be really particular about what you give them. And for my daughter, there was a time she was diagnosed with a swelling in the brain, like a tumor in the brain. And there were certain meals she had to go off for like 2 years. So I had to relearn how to make food without seasoning, without salt, without a lot of things, and still make it appealing to this little child who their taste buds just want something sweet.
Yes.
Right? I had to learn what type of milk. I had to read labels that I didn't really pay attention to before. How much sugar is in this, how much this is in that, because you don't want them to be overly hyper, you don't want them to react to whatever. So having that kind of child also taught me the power of food. I realized the kind of meals that I give her that would help her sleep through the night.
Okay.
I realized the ones I would give her that, she's cranky all day. So I started learning about food. Also, as someone that growing up, you were on the big side, you're naturally careful of what you're putting in your mouth. So I'm always like, I don't want to overeat this, I don't want to overeat that, but I'm going to eat and enjoy myself. I just have the power over food. Food doesn't have the power over me, and that's where I draw the line.
Wow. And you've spoken about Trinity a couple of times, so let's talk about Trinity. How is she doing?
She's amazing. She'll be 10 in about 28 days. March 11th, she'll be 10.
She'll be 10, yes. And I saw part of the story you shared on, I think, African Untold or something. Yes. And when I was watching it, a moment I was like, Nigeria is failing us. One, the health system.
It's a mess.
Because, my first child, my son, I stay in a German space, so we call it Gelbsucht. Gelbsucht is jaundice. When he was born, he had it really much, but it was detected right on spot. Yes, and so watching it, I was like, wow, the difference, how a health system can fail you. It was detected right on spot, and they took him away from me. I didn't see him that day, and they put him in a photo light therapy thing for days. Yes, and that was it. And then listening to you say that even I think the matron, one of them, the first
I called it out. She was piercing her ears, and I said, can you look at her eyes? They're not as white as they were when I had her yesterday. And she's like, what are you talking about? Her father's eyes are not white. Your eyes are not white. Yeah. And I'm a first-time mom. I didn't really grow up with lots of siblings, so I didn't see my mom.
And even the state you are in at that moment. Sorry, when they told me, look, your son has this and that, my state at that moment, I don't see what you're seeing.
Do you get it? And then the fact that I was able to point that out, that something is off. Don't you think this is off? I mean, why would the eye color be brighter yesterday and not today? And you're piercing her ears, so you can look into her eyes properly. You have brought newborns into the world more than I have. You've seen them. And she tells me, just calm, there's nothing here, your baby is fine.
Such a shame.
Right? That would have been what had changed everything.
Yes, because the doctor then, because when I was saying, no, they shouldn't take him away, I need him, they said, no, if he stays more than a day, it will start changing his brain. And I was like, I don't know, this is my first child, I don't even know, okay.
All we were taking was, we draw blood, do a bilirubin test, and we realized the bilirubin is a bit high.
Exactly.
Put her on phototherapy, maybe 24 hours or 48 hours, and we're good. But then I was discharged, clean bill of health. You would not even know I had a baby like 24 hours ago. She was discharged, and then I went home. I didn't have help. I was by myself. It was the first time I was batting a newborn. I bat her the way I could, and I put her to bed. She was feeding and all of that. And it was the 5th day after I had her, I went into, pick her up. And I had never seen that before. I had no idea it was convulsion. I didn't even know what was going on.
Yes.
I panicked. I got scared. I literally just wrapped her in her blanket, and I was looking for a taxi to take me to the hospital. And mind you, there was a hospital next to the house. But I couldn't go in there. Because just going in there alone meant like $500,000.
Health. We still all come back to the failing health system.
Yeah.
Seriously?
So I couldn't go in there. I wanted to. But the thing is, if I knew better, I would have. The most I would have done is suffer shame and beg people to help me, but my daughter would have been fine. But at at this point, I'm past all that.
Yes,
I could have, I
you
would
could
have,
or
because I need to move on. So, getting a taxi was hard because they literally thought the baby was dead and they didn't want to take me. I finally got one, and it seemed like all the traffic in the world was in Lagos that day. But I can't forget that taxi driver. He was driving like a madman, screaming the entire time, "I have a baby dying in my car, let me pass through."
Yeah.
It meant a lot.
Yes, yes.
So for every road bump we hit, my daughter would just twitch like this. I had no idea what was going on. And we got to the hospital. They just took her from me. Her temperature was off.
You must have been so scared.
I didn't have a word to describe what I felt.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I just had a baby. What's going on? And then before I know what's going on, they take everything off her body. They're fixing all sorts of stuff. They're drawing blood. A nurse comes to me like, "Oh, we can't get in. We have to shave her hair." I'm like, "You're not shaving my baby's hair. Is something wrong with you?" You know, they get vein on her leg. What is going on? And then boom, she's in a coma. Under this light that if I leave my hand for 5 minutes, my hand is hot.
Yeah.
What's going on? I gave birth to her at 3.2, and this girl literally went from 3.2 to like 2.4. I'm like, okay, she's going to wake up, right? They're trying to explain to me that she would wake up when it's time for her to. What is when it's time?
Yeah.
I need to give her a bath. She needs to eat. What's up? They're like, "Madam, sit down." And I remember sitting in front of the machine, and I was there. I didn't eat, I didn't drink, I didn't go to pee, I didn't go to do anything. The first day. The next day, the doctor is like, "You are literally going to have high blood pressure and would need to admit you." I said, "Let that happen, but let my child be fine. I'm not moving from this place. I'm not going anywhere. She's got to wake up." And I think about the third day, my feet were swollen. And all through the pregnancy, my feet were fine. And the doctor is like, "We are worried about you. You need to even get a bath." I said, "I don't want to." I remember the day she woke up, it was the 5th day. I think it was like 4 something in the morning or 5 something in the morning. I just saw her tiny feet do this. The second one did this. And then and then her eyes open. I remember screaming that hospital down. "Doctor, nurse, my baby's awake. She's awake, but she's not crying." I ran to the nonsense station. They're like, everybody at this point in the hospital were always crying with me. So when I said she was up, everybody left their rooms and came. And then they saw, I'm like, "Dr. Adeleke, my baby's not crying. Joy, calm down." I said, "She's not crying. Doesn't mean she doesn't know how to cry anymore." And he took her feet like this and pow, pow, and she started crying. And I started crying. He's like, "You wanted her to cry. Now feed her." But my boobs were gone because I hadn't eaten.
Yes, you've not even breastfed then.
No.
Really.
So they were empty. There was nothing. And he's like, "You see yourself? I told you your baby was going to wake up." You know, and I thought the worst was over. Really. I thought we were good. And mind you, while she was in that state, I remember calling the doctor in private. I said, "Talk to me. I had this baby. Tell me the truth." Because I was on Google. I was saying all sorts of things.
Asking questions.
I was saying all sorts of things. Like, "What's going on?" And he's like, no, it's not that bad. I mean, if it's that bad, we would have done a blood transfusion. We didn't do that. So you can see that your child is fine. He assured me so much that I believed everything was fine. So when she woke up, I'm like, my miracle is here.
Yes.
Everything is good. And all I need to do is take her home, feed her, she'll add her weight back, and we're good. And I was like, fine. And we went home. I was coming back every 2 weeks because her eyes, you could only see the iris.
Oh, okay.
So they said the shock, the convulsion at that age weakened the muscles of the eyes. So it fell. Okay, how can we make it stand? Because I can't even take my baby out. People are looking like, "What's wrong with your baby's eyes?" Right? And then I started going from opticians to opticians all over Lagos. That's when I knew there are some opticians that you have to pay consultation fee and wait 3 months for them to see you.
Ah, okay. high end of consultation.
You would wait 3 months for them to see you.
Yeah.
Right? And I paid. I didn't care. If that's the best, bring them, right?
Yeah.
And it was a lot. I remember the day she was diagnosed at Lasuth. I woke up like 4 a.m., got her ready because you have to be at Lasuth very early. It was I think I was number 230 something.
Oh God.
And then it got to my turn. I remember seeing this very old pediatrician, and I was happy that the older, the better.
Maybe more experience,
And he looked at me and he's like, "Is there anyone with you?" I said, "No." He's like, "There's supposed to be somebody with you." I'm like, I came by myself. What's wrong? He examined her and those words came out of his mouth. He said, "Your daughter has cerebral palsy." I'm sorry. I'm holding her and I'm shaking. And I'm looking at her like, you can't be nothing but perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. I felt like the ground should just open up and swallow me. You look on your right, on your left, there's nobody to hold you. I'm like, okay, what do we need to do? She'll be fine, right? Because that's all I want to hear. And he said, yeah, she needs to start physiotherapy, she needs to do this, you need to go and do a brain scan so we know the extent of damage, but there are some things that you won't really know until she starts hitting milestones. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And that's really what it's about. Like, there are some things you would realize that they can't do until they get to that age. You will not understand the extent of damage. And
but you had to then learn so much.
A lot
to be able to show up.
First, I was in denial, which I think all of that experience has helped me talk to mothers or parents with special needs, because I was in denial. This can't be my story. This can't be me. This can't be her. This is not the life I want. It's not possible. So I didn't accept it.
Okay.
For the longest time. And then I tried to accept it. And then I went heavy on the acceptance that, okay, this is what you just need to do and the child will be fine. You know? And then I went heavy on the prayers as well. Nothing is impossible. We live in a society where it tells you miracle over everything. Pouring this water into this glass is a miracle. I started to do 6 to 6 fasting.
Oh, wow.
For 1 year. I told myself I was going to stop the day she turns 1 year, and I believed that by then everything would have been over. I would celebrate her 1 year birthday as a testimony. And then her 1 year birthday came, that didn't happen. So I took the fasting further. She wasn't even sitting at a year. She didn't even have muscle control to sit at a year. Let alone to stand or crawl or walk or talk.
Well, I saw her in the video. She looks gorgeous. I saw her in the video.
Thank you. Yeah. It was a lot to handle. And not having any form of support.
Who was your partner in all of this?
Okay.
Because the Trinity has a mom and a dad.
Yeah, literally, she's got a mom and a dad. But the dad has always been, I really don't care.
Okay. And then with this situation, this is more reason to
I didn't want this life. Now, what most people don't know is, and I've never said this anywhere, is Trinity's pregnancy was never wanted or accepted. So, from the get-go, he said, I don't want this pregnancy.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
But she's going to be a blessing. She's going to be a blessing. Like, I saw her in the video, and when you told her to say hi, and and she brings life and joy into the space.
A lot of, she won an award in her school last week for being the most cheerful in the entire school. And I was in tears because the entire school was there, the secondary and the primary and the nursery. So when it was time to give her the certificate, it was the way the children were cheering for her. I'm like, so you've got this army of support. So it's not just me.
Yes.
You know, they were just shouting, Trinity, Trinity. And she was laughing like, yeah, this is my time to shine. And I love that for her.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been a journey. So her pregnancy wasn't accepted. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to go through an abortion. I'm going to have this child, whether you want it or not. And 7 months into the pregnancy, he comes back and he's like, okay, you know what? I want to be part of you guys' life. But I ain't got no job. I ain't got nothing. I'm like, I'll do everything. You'll get a job, right? You'll be fine, right? So based off of that, when things started to happen, I couldn't be like, guy, you told me you were going to get a job, because I didn't want a reminder of, I told you I didn't want. Yes. And coming from being rejected by your father and sent away, you fear rejection. Yes. I didn't want to hear it again. Thank you very much. Rejection. So I was doing everything and anything to make you work. You will even close your eyes when you see that it should not work. Leave it. I just needed somebody to say this is my own. I get that. Right? So I remember the morning I took her for that diagnosis. I said, let's go together. He said, go, I'm coming. I knew he wasn't going to come. But I went regardless. Right? I know somebody watching this would be like, well, you've got 3 kids. Yeah, I went ahead to still have 2 more for this same person. Because...
Hey, this is Bold with Joe. We are excited to bring African voices and stories to the forefront. The way you can support us is just to press that like button, subscribe, share, tell your friends about us, and drop your comments so we know what matters to you. You want to know all the beautiful shows I am preparing for you? Go to Bold with Joe. Now, back to the show. I know somebody watching this would be like, well, you've got 3 kids. Yeah, I went ahead to still have 2 more for this same person because I felt I could make it work. And I'm actually thankful I went through that process, because maybe I would be hitting myself up with, oh, you didn't try enough. Yes. And that wasn't the case, you know. He was always, he would tell you that he's my first child. Yeah. So I'm literally being a mom to him. You have 4 children. Now you have the boy. Oh my goodness. I have to be a mother to him. Yes. I have to be a provider for him, and then for Trinity when there was no one for me. So with the diagnosis, I went back home, and here I am. I should be breaking down, vulnerable and crying. This is what's going on. And I'm trying to be strong for him and for my daughter. And at the same time trying to find the next way out. Because mind you, in all of this, I lost a job. Yes. Like, you know the kind of job that you prayed and you dreamt about. I studied international relations, and that was it. With an international firm and all of that. And they're like, you can't give us your best with this child. Yeah. You can't even go on trips for training with a child like this. So the best thing to do is to let you go. Letting me go meant I didn't have income. Wow. And Nigeria is not a society where anybody's paying anything in the hospital for children like her. And I don't even know what is wrong with her yet. Like, all the things that are still coming. Mind you, at this time, she wasn't convulsing. Because we got to a point where it was back sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day. It was that bad. So, for her, I had to. You see the strength I got growing up. Yes. Yeah, I had to put that back on. I became a father and a mother, even though she had a physical father. She still has a physical father, but he doesn't even know where she is. Yeah, I saw the video you talked about being a single mother, and then the myths of marriage. You know, because nobody really prepares you. No. Yeah, so we see this romantic idea of, oh, you always see it outside on TV, a soap opera or telenovela or whatever, and you're like, this is what I'm going to get into. And you get in there. But sometimes even reflecting on not just my mom and my dad, because my dad was very violent, but my mom stayed there because she couldn't believe this has happened to her, so she had to stay there. But even in my first marriage, I remember like having all these ideas of how it's going to be, and then realizing, right?
someone should just create a school
and teach us.
teach us, you know.
Marriage. I think the way we grew up made it worse. As a young girl, you grow up, you do your chores at home, you go to school, you graduate, you get married, you make a successful home because your husband says you're a good wife. That's where your life ends. So we see it as the apex of being a good girl.
So that's our purpose for being.
Yeah. You have to make it work. We saw our mothers being battered by our fathers, going through all sorts. And
they stayed.
The evening, they are kneeling down to
exactly.
Soup. Madam, what is your problem?
Yeah. But the man is for us.
Yeah. Then the man is smiling and I feel like, okay. I hold it back. So you grow up and you believe that if you're not married, if you're not there yet, if you're not walking through it yet, you know, whatever circumstances that are in your marriage, it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to make your marriage sweeter and stronger. So you're seeing it through. In my case, I wasn't even married. There was no, let me see your father, let me see your people. It wasn't done. There was no registry. There was no church. I'm there working it out, believing that I'm building. And I was the only one building, sister. And someday at some point, he would go do the right thing and we would be good. But that was coming from a place of trauma.
Trying to hold on to.
Yes, I was looking for something to hold on to. It wasn't love. It wasn't anything like that. Because I didn't fall in love. And I still kept telling him, you didn't ask me out though, uncle. I'm still waiting for when you will ask me out. And he will always use this silly joke of, when you catch a fish with a worm, you still keep feeding the fish the worm. I have you already, so why do I'm like... And I always felt very little when he said things like that. Like, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't get, it's me or
work. There's so much work that needs to be done in the relationship from both sides.
You get it?
Yeah.
And I was like putting in 1,001%, not just financially, but emotionally and otherwise.
Then young men will say, they can't get married because all the girls, their eyes are so open. They can't find a young woman that will build with them.
I don't want anybody. I don't want anybody to tell that to me. My daughters are not building with him. Be built. Yeah. Sir, be built because she too, she will be. You see that idea of I am building with him? I've talked about it on my social media and I say there's nothing wrong with building with someone if you are building yourself at the same time. Yeah. Because the problem we have is that you're building with a man and you are not building yourself. So you sit at home, ensure that he has a comfortable house to come back to. Yeah. He's got food, he's got your body, he's got your emotions, he's got your mind, because he will come back and tell you this one happened, how do you think? Yeah. You're giving him all of this support. So he has everything to succeed. Yeah. You've got nothing. You don't even know your name. That's true. You're defining yourself by him. Now what happens is that he becomes so good, so successful, and you don't measure up. I'm sorry, you don't measure up. Why should he still, you don't dress like the girls that he sees where he goes anymore. You can't hold the same conversations. Speak like them. You can't hold the same conversations. You don't measure up. It's only natural for him to want those people. You, sister, I'm sorry. That's true. We have to really rationally look at this. Build with him. But build yourself at the same time. The same thing men will say, when I was paying your school fees, you didn't tell me you cannot marry me. Oga, when you were paying my school fees, I didn't know better. You were giving me provisions from your shop. Yes. The love was sweet. Now I've graduated. I've seen people that are riding cars, that are speaking English. Exactly. Now tell me to come and meet you that is telling me when I went, I commit. It's not going to work. I can't marry you. Calculate the money you paid for my school fees. Let me pay you back. Yes, really. This is not even being about being bad. It's just a rational. I'm telling you, it just doesn't work. It's the same thing with, I'm here, I'm waiting for my partner that went abroad. Okay. That is Edo State. Something's wrong with your head. Somebody that's never been outside this country steps onto a plane for hours. Automatically, that flight has changed his mindset. Yeah, the mindset. He now gets there. And he sees that girls are like, come over for dinner. Dinner, where this girl is cooking indomie for me? Well, let's go. And then she's like, this is my house. You can come in your house, ma. And I'm squatting with somebody. See, that love is on pause.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Now he's thinking about his future.
Yes,
he's thinking about how he can be comfortable. We're only humans.
Yeah.
He might love you, but he loves himself more.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
And he has to love himself more.
Yeah, and humans have the capacity of loving other people, multiple people. So
he's like, you know what? She go do alright. Not only heartbreak, she go do okay. She'll be fine. I have to move on. This is better for me.
Yeah.
Everybody wants what's better for them. So I don't necessarily have a problem with you building with someone. But I have a problem with you building with someone and not building yourself at the same time. Because let me tell you what happens. If you're building with someone and you're building yourself at the same time, when that thing happens and that person is about to shift, you're ready to shift as well.
Yes. Yes. And you will always be more attractive then if you're growing.
You will become the best version of yourself. I was telling my hairstylist yesterday, I said, there's something that you men don't understand. I love you the way you are doesn't mean I love you to remain the way you are. I love you the way you are.
Yeah.
I would love you more if you become the best version of the way you are.
Yeah.
So that I love you now because you're wearing one trouser and two shirts. And you're handsome in my eyes. And you're everything. You're telling me all the right things. Imagine if you have a car. And you are successful. And you are still telling me all these right things but polished.
Yeah.
I would love you even more. So when you say, oh, she has changed, I thought you said you loved me. I love you, but I did not say you should remain like that.
Yes, yes.
Mind you, life is changing, life is evolving. You can't tell a frustrated woman with a baby in her womb and another one on her back, and two of you are struggling in a keke napep seat to tell you I love you. She's pissed, she's frustrated, she's tired. Love is the least on her mind. But guess what? You don't have money right now to buy a car, and you order an Uber for her. With that baby, and the AC is blowing her mind. She will send you a text on that journey that she's in love with you.
Really care.
That's it. That's you being a best version of yourself at that time.
Yes.
Right? And with this marriage thing, a lot is messed up. A lot is missed. A lot is not said.
Yeah.
Our mothers didn't really tell us the truth.
But some of them were they really like in the concept of, because you see, I don't wear like marriage ring because all these things for me is like
it doesn't
mean anything. But in the concept of partnership, because when I reflect back at my parents, maybe they loved themselves at the beginning, probably. But now with the kids, it's just she manages the house, he goes to earn money. That's it. So they could be roommates.
They are roommates.
Yeah.
It's not about love. I went to the point where I had to ask my mom, come, what did you see in this man? You say he was your teacher. You're not supposed to focus on book. What was your problem? And she's like, the first day I went to his house, I saw food.
Yeah.
From where I come from. In my father's house, we don't have more than 2 tubers of yam.
Yeah.
I saw a yam barn with more than 200 yams.
So well, that was status for her too.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
And then I saw where they were roasting bushmeat. You know, I'm like, if I'm with this man, I would never be hungry.
Yeah.
I will be taken care of. So you know what? No problem. He asked me to pause my education. I'll pause it.
Yeah.
He will take care of me, right? That was it for my mom. It wasn't love.
So how do you think with that experience, we're not going to actually be taught what marriage is, what partnership is, how, you know, what to expect, you know. So how do you think today, because it's not all bad, there are relationships that works, amazing, right? So what do you think we should, with what expectation should we get into that relationship?
Find a kind person.
A kind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, with the myth surrounding marriage,
we
believe your husband will be your provider, your protector, your husband or your wife becomes your happiness, and that's wrong. If you're a miserable person, if you're a depressed person, figure out your issues.
Okay.
Before you go into a relationship.
So self-work first.
we project our happiness onto someone else and believe this person is coming to complete me, make me happy, make me all of this. You get into the relationship, you realize it's a responsibility. And where is the love? Where is everything this person is supposed to be giving to me? You're not getting it. You feel more miserable.
Okay.
And as such, you become a miserable partner. It doesn't work. Right? So find a kind person. We have all, if you ask a typical young girl now, what's your ideal husband? He has to be handsome, he has to be rich, he has to have this. Scratch that. He has to be kind. A kind person will ensure they take care of you. A kind person will be attentive to your emotions. A kind person will notice what you're saying without you using words. Because they're naturally kind.
Yeah.
He's rich and super bossy and arrogant around his staff. Why do you want to marry that kind of person? Because he's going to bring it home.
That's true.
At some point. The whole romance, the whole butterflies, it dies after a while. Life takes effect. You will be pregnant and you can't stand up from the bed. Is he going to help you out or expect or tell you that my mother carried 9 children and still made sure my father had breakfast that was pounded yam? You don't want that kind of person. You want a kind person. You want a friend.
Yes.
Because over time, it is the friendship that would help you. Someone you can gist with. Someone you can talk and laugh with. And the most important thing, have a life. Have
yourself.
Have a life.
Okay.
We all believed it's when you now get married that your life starts. So when I get married, everything is good. My husband is my all and all. Your husband is not your all and all. God is your all and all. Men don't drop their friends when they get married. You get married as a woman, you drop your friends. Because I'm a married woman now. You know? I'm a married woman now, so I can't be friends with single girls. Your husband still has friends that for the last 5 years you people have been married. The friends are still single.
Yes, that's
It has not affected boys' hangouts. It hasn't affected nothing. They still have themselves. You have lost yourself completely. You're a wife, a mother, a home owner, or a home worker. That's it.
That's it.
And running in that circle would get you exhausted.
When do you ask for help? Because very often we, as women, are either afraid or we just want to be like we are superwomen. We don't ask for help.
I tell people all the time, I don't have a support system. I don't know what it's like to have a support system. I don't know what it's like to pick up the phone and call someone like, girl, I don't understand how my life is going. If you've got people around you that are consistently making themselves a support system for you, take advantage of it. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow them to take care of you. There's no award in heaven for who suffer fast.
That's true.
I'm a strong woman. I'm a strong woman is the anthem of a woman that is digging her own grave. If you feel like talking and your husband doesn't feel like the person you should talk to, go to that person that you feel like you can talk to. If it's your mother, if it's your sister, if it's your best friend, let it out. Seek for help, even when it doesn't look like you need help. Help could be as little as, girl, can I come over? Let's just take a walk.
Yes, that's true.
Help could be as little as, can you just help me with food? I don't want to cook. Do you know a plug where I can order food? Help could be, my love, can we just go to a hotel for this weekend? Let's just leave the house, something fresh. Help could be, I don't want to see my husband, I don't want to see my children, I just want to be by myself.
Yes, that's true.
Because mind you, you're a human being and so much is going on in your life. You can't do it by yourself. You can't do it all. It makes no sense to try to do it all. Accept help if you have it around you. Ask if you don't.
So should your partner, a man, be able to cook?
He has to be able to cook.
Will you pass your test? With your you as a food curator.
Okay, so I get that a lot. People are like, literally everyone is like, oh Joy, if you come and visit me, I won't be able to offer you anything because I mean you cook everything. I'm always like, don't say that, just do your best. Now, when I say should a man be able to cook, should a man be able to eat?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, if you can eat, you should cook.
Exactly.
Everybody should know how to cook. It differs how you cook. I mean, you might not do everything that I'm
cook for yourself.
Cook for yourself.
But when should we start learning that? Because I remember my mom was like a home economics teacher, and they used to teach it back in those days. But now, nope, they don't teach cooking in school anymore.
It's only like private schools that have those things.
Oh, really? They still do?
My kids do like home economics and stuff like that. I think from the age of 5.
Okay.
As soon as they can button their shirt, they can be with you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to pour oil or fry, but they could help out with washing the veggies, tomatoes and stuff like that. You could get kid-friendly kitchen utensils. Get them involved. How did we learn how to cook? My mother did not sit us down and say, this is how to make tomatoes. You are in the kitchen. That's how you're learning it.
That's true.
Give me that. Give me that salt. Give me this. Pass me that. Get them involved. Mind you, children actually love to be involved in these things, right? So when they're eating the meal, you hear them saying, "I helped mommy to cook. I was the one that helped mommy to cook. I'm the one that put, you know." So it gives them this like, yes, I helped her. My girls are always fighting to help with the kitchen. Yes. And most times I'm like, can I just be in my kitchen alone? Mommy, I want to help you. Mommy, let me pour that. Mommy, what are you making? They see ingredients and they know what I'm going to make. You know, my little one calls nana bread. So when she sees me with Greek yogurt and flour in the kitchen, she knows what's coming. Mommy, we're making nana bread. She knows what's coming. Mommy, let me help you. You know, so get them involved as early as 5. Boys, girls, get them in the kitchen. They should know how to cook basic stuff, not just boil water. Not just boil rice. The basics of making sauce. And that's also why I love what I do. Because it's almost like an online diary that anybody can reach at any time. Which is why when you go through what I do, I don't do it for the gram. I don't do recipes so that it will go viral. There are certain things that people cook these days and I'm like, oh God.
How did you come up with your recipes? What's like for you personally, your motivation? What drives you to shape recipes?
It has to be edible. It has to be delicious.
Not just for the eyes.
No. I love food to look good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love food to be practical. Don't start gastronomical experiments with your belly. I beg you. Don't start. Because why do you want to cook rubbish? In the name of, oh, it's on social media, it's going to go viral, give you millions of views and followers and all of that because we're pursuing this social validation. It doesn't make sense. I create the kind of content that 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now, if you come across the videos, you're going to be like, oh my God, I want to go do this. Whether you're male, whether you're female. I actually have, most of my reviews are from men. Oh. Most of my reviews. Hello, I tried this recipe. Thank you so much. You saved my life. And these are men that live abroad.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I was finally able to make this stew. Okay, can you teach me this? Can you coach me on how to do this? I saw it on your page, but it wasn't as explanatory as I would like. And then I am always happy to walk them through. Because what if my kids stumble on all of these videos when they grow up? And they're like, oh, mommy mixed these two together. They won't understand I was just doing it for the gram. They will go and mix it together and it is rubbish. So for motivation, when I see food ingredients, I'm like, what else can I make with this? How else can I turn this into something? And I have a terrible habit of wanting to shop food items, anything kitchen. So much that people make fun of me. Like, if you go abroad, we would not see you bring back shoes and clothes. We will bring back food items. So when I'm in the stores, I'm looking at different food items. I'm looking at different spices. And those things just spark creativity in me. Like, okay, I could actually make this and this will come out. And that's really where it comes from. And then when I create it and I taste, I'm like, okay, this works. This works, yeah. You know, even when it comes to drinks. Okay. I make the most refreshing drinks with very basic ingredients. So when I see mixologists these days do a lot of things with Zobo, I'm like, yeah, I brought that out. Because I was like, we're using grenadine syrup. We have Zobo drink that can go into mocktails and cocktails. You guys are not exploring these things.
Yeah.
Find a way to infuse it into your drinks and you will be wowed, right? So there's so much good stuff about Nigerian food that is not in the media. What's in the media?
Like what? Like what exactly?
Okay, now, what's in the media is palm oil is bad for you. And that's not the truth.
That's not the truth. Do you know, even abroad, there's a massive campaign about bad palm oil. They put it like it's a sticker on product, palm oil free. I just got so pissed off one day. I was like, why is I grew up making palm oil. So why is palm oil bad? How? But I understand why they do it, but this is very careless because that's what happens there. Like, there are international, multinational companies that go to the Amazons. They've done it here in like the 18th century, They go to the Amazons now and they destroy the forest planting palm oil because palm oil is so important for consumption. That's why Benin fell. That's why they invaded Obalvorame, palm oil. But nobody even talks about it. So I'm going to talk about it because that was crucial for the Industrial Revolution in England. So because now they invade, they destroy the forest. So there are Greenpeace, there are different organizations, environmental organizations, trying to stop this. So now you have new companies, they want to override their competitors, so they are doing theirs palm oil free. So that's why the campaign, it's an economical thing being pushed.
That on one side, and then you guys are always eating swallow. Swallow is not the problem. Your portion size is the problem.
The portion size is too big.
Your portion size is what the problem is. There's actually not. Our foods are actually very balanced.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yes, that's true.
You're having eba, fermented cassava that has probiotics.
That's true. Yes.
You're here buying Greek yogurts for thousands of naira.
Yeah.
You have gari in your kitchen that has the same probiotics in it.
Yeah, and the Greek yogurt with some antibiotics inside.
Do you get what I'm saying? But you are telling me that gari is bad for your sight
because it's indigenous.
Because it's indigenous.
It's self-esteem.
Now you have a plate of eba, and you have a bowl of okra soup.
Yes.
Okra is amazing. It's probably got ugu in there. It's got crayfish. It's got pepper, vitamin C. It's got palm oil. It's got fish. It's got meat and all of these things. And you're telling me that this one is unhealthy. That until I put spinach and cherry tomato.
No,
and
never cherry tomatoes. It's not growing here.
No. And olive oil.
Yeah.
And eat that. That's when I'm eating healthy. No. That's what you are used to. That's what you grew up on. This is what we have. This is how we combine it. Just the same way you tell me, you guys eat too much meat. Step on the brakes, brother. Because this person that is eating 4 pieces of meat in their soup right now, for the first 21 years of their life, they were being given this as meat.
But the meat now that it is too much.
No, I'm coming. I'm coming, right? Compared to a 7-year-old child in America who's having dinner and the steak is as big as this paper.
No, it's even misplaced to even start comparing our African food with American.
Because that's what
we don't have food.
So
there is no.
No, that child that has been eating steak as big as my head.
Yes, that's true. Very correct.
And you're telling that child at 21 stop eating red meat. They should stop before they were even 21 because they're eating too much.
They should stop before they were born because their parents are eating too much.
Compared to somebody that was eating this as meat for 21 years, now they have opportunity to say load it. Mind you, they cannot even finish it.
Yes.
You're demonizing our own food.
And most of the time, even the meat, when you eat that shaki, not the pomod, but the shaki, the roundabout and everything, the inside, that's where most of the nutrients it's stored, they're deposited. And so, and it's not like, when I see sometimes my daughter's friends, I had to tell my daughter, they will see my Nigerian side. They won't come to my house anymore. If you're going to use fork and knife to eat that chicken and leave everything,
there's still meat now and they hold it.
Eat that thing properly.
Oh God!
I'm like, tell your friends if they are coming, I will take from your pocket money to buy the meat for them. So you will be wasting the food.
I'm telling you. So there's so much about Nigerian food. I think the only difference back then was presentation.
Yes,
we didn't care about presentation of our meal. This is our food. But now, with what we do online, we cook the meals a certain way so that it is appealing to the eyes, right? And we present it in such a way that you want to try it. I mean, during COVID, TikTok was going crazy with fufu and egusi. Fufu and it's egusi soup, not egusi. You had Chinese people trying out our meals.
But everything is not fufu.
Everything.
I'm telling you, everything is not fufu. I'm like, please leave me alone.
So with all of that, I stand to be one of the people that is like, there's so much more to Nigerian food. I don't see why you want to demonize it. I'm not going to give my kids burger and pizza for dinner when they could have rice and beans with a very good stew and fish or something for dinner. Let's not. We've imbibed a lot of their culture, a lot of their way of life. Let's not do the same thing to our own meals. Yeah. We are losing ourselves gradually.
That's true.
There are a lot of meals that I grew up on that I don't see anymore. I can't remember the last time I saw it. And when I go to the village, the only thing I want to do is see those meals, eat those meals, right? My kids don't even know the names of these things. And this is us, right? We shouldn't let it go. Sushi now is so expensive. Everybody's buying sushi.
So people are buying sushi here? Okay.
Who is really enjoying sushi? Which is the question I want to ask. Are you really enjoying it or you are eating it so they see that?
No, it tastes nice. But
okay, bored. I don't want to eat it.
But
you get me? So put it aside.
Sushi. Do they know? I hope they know what happens to that salmon and the fish they put on top.
They don't care.
Okay. And they should eat antibiotics. So
so
the health sector will boom. This is a call. Health sector will boom in the future.
Definitely.
What?
Yeah.
So sushi. So we've not eaten all the food that we have.
We're paying like 200,000 naira just to have sushi here in Lagos.
Really? But why do we not appreciate, ourselves at all? Because
we don't.
Why? Is it because of colonialization, or where does this come from that we tend to everything we will call it local, everything that's indigenous that we create has lower value for us than something, I'm telling you now, if pounded yam was reinvented by one French guy and brought to Nigeria, everybody will start eating pounded yam.
Sure. I find it very painful and annoying when you try to be a Nigerian and you are deemed local. This one is not civilized. This one is not woke. So that everything on you is foreign, is woke. Why do you dignify reducing yourself for others? It makes no sense. But then it screams social validation. I want people to see that I'm doing well. I want people to know that I'm up there. I want people to know that I've tried X, Y, Z. And for that sort of recognition and validation, you have to keep doing those things. There are a few people that are like, you know what, no matter how well traveled or rich that I am, I'm still going to stick with my roots. Things that make me me. And I hope that at some point we start to realize these things. And the easiest way to do it is to put it in our children.
Yeah.
I recently came across a video of, I think it's a cartoon thing on YouTube teaching Igbo and all of that. The mother was like, oh, you're not watching Cocomelon anymore. You're going to be watching this Igbo thing. And I was like, thumbs up to whoever it is that created this. But this is not going to go viral. Even the system that you're putting in the YouTube is going to,
that's true.
So these are the things. If we can start from the grassroots, from the children, from the names that we give our children, for example, none of us are ashamed of our native names.
That's true.
You're giving your child Moon and Sun.
Sahara and Paris.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, hey, God, what happened to?
Please give your child already.
Osemudia, man. What is all this? What happened to those names?
I'm proud of this one.
I am so proud. My girls all have Isan names, and I am proud to call them by those names because, again, the names, when I call it reminds me of why they have those names. Trinity is Omonigo, El Shaddai is Onosetali, and Shiloh is
Oh,
those names, like when
very Edo.
yeah.
So
when I call those names, it reminds me of why they have those names, and then it sticks with them. You won't find a Chinese person coming to tell you their name is
Star, yeah.
Moon.
It empowers the identity, yeah, of our children.
Yeah. So let's start with our names. Start with our food.
Yes.
You know, find ways to make our meals presentable. Find ways to make our meals acceptable. I say if we can have Chinese restaurants in Nigeria, we should have jollof restaurants in China. We should have amala in China. This is us. They're giving us a piece of them. Let's give them a piece of us as well. If we have to work on the presentation, if we have to work on the spice so that it's generally acceptable, let's do that. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with us. And you see, this thing, it stems deeper than just the outside.
Yes, that's true.
It goes inside as well. You know, it affects our self-esteem as human beings. And then we see ourselves as inferior.
Yes.
You always feel like you're not enough. Right? Someone else has it better than you. And that's not the truth. You're the best because you are just you. There's no other you anywhere else. And it is the you that you bring into anything that makes a difference. And then the more that we can tell ourselves this and believe it, the better we're going to be. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong in wanting to imbibe other people's life, culture, whatever, but don't do it to the point where you lose yourself.
Yeah, to the detriment of your own identity.
Yeah, don't do it to that point.
So what are we expecting from your food? What's the next journey? What are you planning?
So many things actually, but I think this year we should be getting out a cookbook.
That's what I wanted to ask. Yes, finally.
Yeah, so I've been working on a cookbook for like a year now. I want something that speaks me. I've gone through so many cookbooks, I've watched so many videos, and I just want a cookbook that when you have it, there's this joy that fills you when you know you've got it. So I want a cookbook that comprises of regular dinners, if you're having like an in-house party or something that your kids can inherit from you, pretty much. Recipes that are practical, that are relatable, but absolutely not watering. Things that would make your life in the kitchen easier, because I don't believe you have to spend a long time in the kitchen. You can spend a short time and come up with something that is absolutely nice, and also pieces of our culture. Pieces of Nigerian. So there's going to be a lot of Nigerian infused recipes, you know, spices that are local to us, things that you're going to be like, oh my god, I remember this when I was growing up. Or even if you're coming across it as a foreigner, you're like, I want to see what this, what this tastes like. So this year, a cookbook, a website, because I mean, you can't bank on all of this social media.
That's true. That's true. So we will be able to like have like a link or a QR code and a cookbook, photograph it and see you cook that.
I'm telling you.
God, I can't wait for that cookbook.
I'm telling you, like, that would be a major dream come true. There's so much more that I want to do when it comes to food, a cooking show outside social media. That takes a lot.
Yes, that's true.
But definitely we have that in the works. Physical cookouts where I have people physically come and just enjoy good food. You know, it's one thing to watch someone over the years online. It's another thing to have like a physical experience of them. So things like that.
There is even, I went to a place like that. Somewhere, I don't know, I think somewhere in London. I went to, someone booked it, where I think couples can come. I think we were like 4 couples there, so I think we were like 8. It's a kitchen, and this chef, she's always on social media, and so I didn't know her, but the person that booked it knew her. And so she takes you through like 8 course meals. When later I was like, this is no good cheap. Because I saw the whole thing, the whole drama. We
Giving
spent about
you an experience.
We spent about like we had breaks. Then we go out to come in and I was like, I now checked the price. I was like, okay, I enjoy it. Thank you.
You
something like that would be so beautiful.
You want to give people an experience, through food. Because for me, food is just much more than something you just whip up when you're hungry and you put in your belly. I always tell people, if you want to cook, don't cook when you're hungry.
Okay.
You cook disaster.
The wrong stuff
you would
together.
rush the process. Your flavors are not going to build up together. So you want to allow yourself cook and enjoy the process. And I think that's why it's hard for me to cook for myself, because I like to cook for people. I like to go through the entire process. So if I'm alone and you're asking me to cook, I'm going to cook like I'm cooking for people. I don't know how to just rush, even when I don't have cameras on. I don't know how to just, okay, I put all this together, the food is ready. No, I'm still going to
So the process for you is an enjoyable process.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And baking for me is therapy.
Wow.
So when I bake, I let go of whatever. Most times when I'm baking, I'm very depressed. I'm going through something. So the feel of my hand to dough and bringing something to life, it just takes away from whatever it is that I'm going through at the moment. So cooking for me, I'm looking forward to the end product, but then the process as well, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So before I start cooking, I have a view of what the meal is going to look like. And then I go through the process to bring it to that point. No matter how tired I am, for every meal that I cook, I have a picture. I always take pictures of my meals. So that's to tell you that I'm very intentional about it. My kids, Mommy, I'm like, wait.
I have to take
a picture of
You have to invite us, create that session so that we come and get into that experience. I'm going to be the first person. By God's grace. Yes. So is that a message for our daughters that you'd love to share? Like, do you have a statement that you want our daughters? I have a daughter too. Yeah. I
have so much. I mean, I've got 3 girls, right? Yeah. The first thing I'm going to say is that your gender is not a problem. Don't listen to what anyone tries to. Your gender is not a problem. If anything, your gender is your strength.
Yes.
Right? It will open doors for you. You can literally do anything you set your mind to do. You can become anything you set your mind to do. Success is not gender based.
That's true. That's true.
Being a billionaire is not gender based. So if you know that early and you know you can become a billionaire, work at it. Right? The kitchen used to be a reference point of insult for women. Women should be left in the kitchen. We have changed that narrative because we are in the kitchen and we are earning.
Yes,
from
and you're creating your passion, making it.
We have turned that office into an office that brings so much more.
Yes.
You know, you used to call it women should be in the kitchen. Yeah, we are in the kitchen and we're ruling from the kitchen. You know, you guys are in your offices sending us brief in our kitchen. Okay, so if we can change that, you can do anything.
Wow. Yes.
And don't settle. Don't make the mistake I made. I learned the hard way, but I'm glad I learned and I left. Don't settle. Marriage doesn't complete you. Relationship is amazing. You get a good person is awesome.
Yeah.
But let that not be your end goal. You becoming the best version of you becoming a happy person is the end goal. Him or her, between 2 daughters, him coming to you is a plus. It's an addition to the cake that's been made.
Wow.
Don't define yourself by, who I get married to, I need to get married. No. Push yourself. Become the best version of yourself. Because let me tell you, the man that is intimidated by you is not meant for you.
Yes, that's true.
The person that will come up to you, regardless of where you are, and say, with all of this, I want to marry you. That person exists. So don't settle. Don't ever settle. You deserve all the happiness. You deserve all the love. You deserve all the princess treatments in the world. And learn to give yourself that treatment before you expect it from anyone else.
Wow. We have rapid fire questions just for you. This is the first time we're pushing out those kind of questions.
All right.
We're just going to go through them with like very short phrases.
Okay.
Yes. So, of course, we're going to start with, what's your favorite comfort food? Yeah.
Okay, favorite comfort food, that would be creamy pasta. I knew if I ever tried creamy pasta, I would be hooked.
Yeah.
So I was always waiting for when am I going to try it, and I wanted to try it the right way. I had read and watched so many recipes of it. I'm like, I want to try this the right way. So I got money, I got cheese, I got the cooking cream. I made sure I got the best, you know. And I tried it, and I'm like, oh God, I'm hooked.
So one kitchen tool that you cannot do without.
Ooh, a food processor.
A food processor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A food processor, because you can literally do almost anything with it. You can do almost anything with it.
So sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Oh, really? Dream travel destination for food lovers.
Italy, please.
Oh, really?
Take me there.
Okay. Advice for someone just starting their food journey.
Oh, okay. If you're just starting your food journey, first off, ask yourself why. Because if you're starting because you see fame,
Or they saw Joy,
or you saw you saw the kitchen and all of that, don't be deceived. Go to the down. Go and see where I started from. Do not be intimidated.
Okay.
Whatever space that you see anyone in, no matter how saturated it is, you can also come into that space and shine. The most important thing is be authentic.
Yeah.
Don't try to copy. Be inspired, but don't copy. Be yourself, and then put in as much as you know it deserves. If you naturally don't enjoy being around food, my brother, my sister, run. Because if it takes you a minute to pour this water into this glass, if you're filming it, it's probably going to take you an hour. If you don't enjoy it,
so
run. Just run. But if you genuinely enjoy it, I'll tell you, keep at it. It pays at the end of the day. You'll be really proud of yourself, right? And one thing I do, and one thing I would advise is, you can't get it right one day, but you get better at what you're already doing. Just make a decision that I'll be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah. So if you look back now, based on all your experience that you've had building your business, your food blogs and your recipe, what is one thing that you say, I've learned this, and if I was going to do it again, I'll do this, or I won't do this?
Having money, having access to money, to doing it right, makes a lot of difference.
Okay.
Because a lot of things will turn once you begin to do it right.
Really?
Start with what you have, yes. But doing it right sets you apart. Especially if it's for social media. Let's be honest. People are going to look at certain things. It depends on what your end goal is. But what I've learned is consistency and doing it right. Because over the time, there's been things that I have done because I could have access to those things. And I couldn't do it when I started. And I understand where those things took me.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're going to do it and you've got access to the funds to do it right, by all means, do it. Don't quit your 9 to 5 and get into it. Use your 9 to 5 to build this up. Right? And explore. Don't be stuck on that one page that is your biggest inspiration. Explore. Read. Watch videos. Do your research. Come out with unique recipes that would have people thinking. Not weird recipes, right? Put you into it. Because the first recipe that ever went viral on my page was, I think it was buns.
Okay.
And why did it go viral? People were like, oh my God, it's been years I had this. I didn't even know this is how they make it, right? It brought back memories for people. It brought something for people to talk about. And then people went on and tried it, and it was exactly what they expected it to be. So for me, I've learned that nothing beats consistency.
Yes.
The more consistent you are, the better you get at what you're doing, actually. So stay consistent.
So don't wait to be perfect, because there's no perfect.
There's no perfect.
You just keep building and
just
growing.
Just keep at it. Whatever mistake you made yesterday, correct it today.
The next.
And trust me, even as you're correcting, you're making mistakes.
Making another.
And you would also correct and you would learn. Which is why you don't just tell yourself, oh, I know it all. You keep learning. You keep exploring. you keep opening yourself up to opportunities to learn and to hear from people that have been ahead of you as well.
Yes. Before we come to the closing question, is there anything that you want to talk about? It's on your mind. You want to put out there that we've not talked about?
Is it food related?
No, that must not be food related. Your whole
okay.
person.
So there's something that bothers me about social media. When someone gets vulnerable on social media, they are bashed.
Bashed, as in Nigeria.
Yeah, you're not branding. Why would you share that? Why would you do this? We tend to celebrate fake life.
Yeah.
More than people that are living
authenticity.
Yeah. And it is killing. Why? A lot of people are believing that until they are able to live the fake life, they're not going to get to where they need to be. You've got young girls going under the knife because you have to have that figure. Our fingers are not equal. They're not created equal. Why should all girls look the same?
The same, yes.
Why do you have to stay in an Airbnb apartment and pretend it's yours just so that you are accepted on social media? The validation we seek for on social media is beginning to kill.
It's toxic.
And it worries me, right? I tell people, I say, my kitchen is not a practical kitchen. My kitchen is my office. Where you begin to feel pressured to have the similar kitchen and the similar equipment that I've got and the number of cookware that I've got, something is wrong. Which is why I try to create a balance where I show the professional side and I show my authentic side. My pain, what you would call pain or shame, I have shared on social media. And for some people, you should have shared this, right? I remember when I shared Trinity, I had people say all sorts.
Oh, I am so sorry.
You know?
Because you're the most, sorry to interrupt you, you're the most authentic person I have seen. And I was so proud, like, she's from Edo State. Then I was like, I'm from Edo State. Oh God, thank you for sharing. And I am so sorry that you had this experience.
I mean, you get people telling you all sorts.
Yeah.
At some point, I had to be like, you know what, I want to be known for my job and not pitied for my daughter. I want to be sure that you are enjoying my content and you're not just dropping emojis on my videos because you're trying to support me because I had this child. Right? Because there's a thin line between love and pity. True. I don't want to be pitied. Right? I want to be taken seriously. Right? And because of this, a lot of people shy away from being their authentic self on social media because they just feel like people would feel, I've had a grass to grace story on social media. And people have literally seen me cooking with cookware that was all burnt up and bad to having some of the most expensive cookwares. And I believe that watching that has inspired some growth. As much as some people would be like, is it not this person that we knew the other day? You know, I am of the opinion that you don't have this much audience just so that you can only be a certain way. If you've got audience, be as real as you can
and show up in your fullness.
Yes,
actually,
let them know that I can be all of this, but I'm like you. I have the same struggles that you've got. When I came up with being a single mom, I had people in my DM like, you should never say that. Some brands will not want to work with you because of that. Some people are just going to cut you off because of that. You know,
but the brands that will want to work with you will come.
I'm like, how does that define anything? When it's a society where women are dying from domestic abuse every day, and you want to shame someone for being a single mom of 3. I'm proud to be a single mom of 3 because you guys have no idea what that felt like pulling out of that, right? And if I don't talk about it, there are going to be other young girls that are going to fall into the same situation.
And there are people that are stuck in there right now.
Right now. And all they need to know is that, you know what, this lady that I follow, she did, I can't do it.
And sometimes we downplay the impact that has.
But
it's literally, so I have a friend that, I sometimes I wonder, really? She saw a video where I talked about Benin. That was it for her. She was like, I want to do this. She's starting a business now, opening up and accepting her Edo heritage. So sometimes even that small, you might think is very small, you just share a story of how you exited that relationship, you might just be saving someone's life.
True. True. And I really need people to see the bigger picture on that. As much as you want to be socially acceptable, also realize that God has given you a responsibility. That's why He's giving you that crowd, that audience.
And the ability to communicate it.
Yes.
The confidence, the trust, the authenticity to communicate it has been given to you.
True.
For a reason,
True. So let's try to be our authentic self. So we're not raising a generation of people that believe they have to be fake.
Yeah. Wow, there's then a lot of work to do.
So much.
Yes, so that brings us to the last question, which is, now, if you just imagine you had everything, everything you wished for, time, money, good health, everything you wish for, resources, no limitations, no barrier, what bold move would you do? What would you be doing?
First off, I go on a vacation. Okay, but first
I feel you, yes.
Like, oh my God, book me a vacation in a tropical, just let me go lounge in a bikini with a glass of champagne and just chill. But I think I'll go after my dreams harder than I am right now. Because being a single mom and trying to show up and ensure that you don't give your kids excuses for bills or for responsibilities is hard.
Yes.
And as such, you put certain things at the backstage because other things have to come first. And I'll just go harder on my dreams. I'll be doing so much more. I'll be doing what I'm doing now, but like in a different way. You know, I'll be doing it in a different way. I'll be doing it to show the entire world what can come out of all of this, because I have to be the biggest inspiration for my daughters, and it is important for me to show them how much a woman can do and how much a woman can be, and not just my biological daughters but every other child out there. So I think I'll go at my dream harder.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Joy, thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for sharing, for just being here today and inspiring me, making me learn so many things, and just making me also connect. It's a coincidence that we come from the same state, and we have some parallels in our experience. So just you've taken me to appreciate the strength that we have, and of course we must not always be strong, and I really appreciate your authenticity. When I was looking at your work, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so authentic, and this is what the world needs, you know. Thank you for being able to show up and do this, right? And you have amazing 3 daughters. I love it when they're at the back like seeing you, because children learn from not what we say, but what we do. And you just showing up. Thank you so much. Oh my God, this was an amazing interview. You can see all the links are beneath this video everywhere on our platform, where you can see Joy's work, and a cookbook is coming out. Don't worry, go to our affiliate site. You're going to see this cookbook. I'm not going to tell you when, so you need to subscribe so that you know when we announce that the cookbook is out. And that was my conversation, Bold with Joy.